Hello, it's Dawn Gage, fourth grade ELR and campus instructional technology facilitator for McClendon Elementary. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you today about digital choice boards. Choice boards, of course, have been around for a while. Most of you probably have seen them, use them in your classroom before. This is just kind of a little bit of the same. And for those of you who may not currently be using them, I would encourage you to try this with some of your students. So, digital choice boards can come in many different shapes and sizes. The standard one that you normally see are the grids, in which you have the little boxes. There are several places you can get them. One of them, if you've not tried or not seen Casey Bell's shakeuplearning.com, she's got a blog post about some choice boards with some links where you can download a template. She also has another one down here that is made a little bit differently. It looks like an actual menu that someone may see at a fast food place, where they could get entrees or appetizers or beverages, and students could go in and pick different projects to go along with it. Um, Ms. Funkhauser also shared some good links for examples for choice boards on her last newsletter on here. So there are quite a few options here. If you're just not real sure, you can always Google templates for choice boards. There are a ton of things out there. There are Pinterest pages. You can find these kinds of things anywhere, or you can just make your own. Um, Other places, if you have a Canva account, Canva has these where they call them fast finishers grids, but these could be transformed into choice boards as well to be able to use. So this is one that I've been working on for my students for reading. And on here again, it's just your typical grid. But within this grid, I have some links that students would go to a separate Google Doc, and then with an instruction page that goes with it. So each one of these is linked to a separate document. Those documents are view only because I don't want the kids to be able to make any changes to that document, or add anything to it. On that document, it just gives them instructions. Some of them will give them links to other sites. Some of them will just ask them to either go and write something in their journal, or it'll ask them to go use Google Slides, Google Docs, or even Jamboard to be able to finish their activity. Um, there's a couple of things on here. For instance, this newspaper page and this report. Um, I use Canva to go in. In Canva, you can go in and have your own separate classes. Like I've got my reading class here. I've got the templates already set up for them to use for this. And then I just copied a link that I then put on the instruction page. So here's the one for the newspaper. And so there is a Canva link right here that will take them directly to that particular template for them to complete. And then these are all the directions for them to follow when they are creating this newspaper page. I also have a couple of them, like the book trailer and the newscast, that are connected to Flipgrid, where my students can go in and use Flipgrid in order to create a video about their book. Um, the digital book down here is for them to either write a sequel, or for them to write their own book on a similar topic. And I'm using Book Creator. And so there's a link for the students to be able to go into Book Creator and create their own book. Um, my kids are super excited about this. And many of them were just like, oh, they can't wait to get started. It is something that's in their Canvas page, and it's linked in there so that when during their daily five, so when they're completed with their work, then they can go into this, and this is something that they can choose a square to go with the book that they've read during read to self time, and then they can go in and they can do one of these activities with that book. The great thing about this is it will go with any book, fiction or nonfiction, that they're doing. Now, some of them do ask them to write the next chapter or to go in there and do characters and so on. So some lend themselves better for fiction, some better for nonfiction. So the kids would just have to choose which one they think they would prefer to do. I also have a little rubric that goes along down here so that they can see um, the kind of points and things that can be earned on the activity that they turn in. So there's lots of things that they can do on here. This did take me a little bit of time because each one of these squares, like I said, has a separate page that has instructions on it. And so all those pages are out there and then they have them linked into this one. So that did take a little bit of time to make the other pages, but this is something that can be used over and over and over again every week without a whole lot of changes being made to it. This is a great thing to be using with any subject. Um, doesn't have to just be reading. It works for social studies, it works for science, it works for math. Um, so if this is something that you find yourself interested in doing or spending more time working on, um, I encourage you to give it a try. Um, If you have any questions or would like to have a copy of my template that I was working on for reading, you can just email me at the email address here, deanna.gage@communityisd.org, and I can share a copy with it. You would just need to go in and make a copy yourself and then make a copy of all the other pages to link to that presentation. So, thank you for joining me today, and I hope you give it a try. Thank you.